Alright, hello and welcome to the Sangonomiya Kokomi character demo. 1,000 Waves Under the Moon. Alright, so if you know the deal, I'm just gonna go into it, and I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts and opinions and reactions, and I'm gonna point out anything I think looks interesting. So I won't waste your time some more, so let's just get right into it.
The sea is teeming with creatures, all fighting to survive. When a mighty predator approaches, weaker fish seek shelter. Yet many will still be devoured. But when smaller fish gather together, they can act as one body for the protection of all. This is how the weak mount their resistance.
God, what a beautiful intro. The Divine Priestess of Watatsumi Island. Okay. Alright, I see what you're doing, Genshin. Alright. I'll tell you guys later, but I thought I saw something pretty interesting just now.
Our ancestors once dwelt in the dark ocean depths.
Wait.
How must they have felt
Is this
when
star
they
scene
first
supposed to be
gazed
us?
upon the starry sky?
Wait, is Kokomi the one that actually foretold that we'd come to Inazuma? Hold on.
See now.
Okay.
Billowing surge!
Alright. I have to say, out of all of the character demos for Inazuma we've seen so far, like, all of them are cool, don't get me wrong. But I think Kokomi's is definitely, like... it's definitely the most beautiful I've seen so far.
Just as fish gather to overcome larger foes, Watatsumi must unite to survive. And I must lead them to new, open waters. For that is my duty as Divine Priestess.
Okay, cool. So real quick, I'm gonna say I love all these shots they do on her eyes. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. This whole stuff where we can't see her, like, pupil properly, like these murky eyes, it just makes me think that, like, maybe Kokomi's a really fucked up person. Maybe she's really messed up, you know? And I don't know if we'll ever see that in her, like, character, like, you know, story, but I think it'd be interesting. So this whole kind of deal in the beginning, where she's talking about is, like, you know, a bunch of, you know, when a mighty predator shows up, I think this is, like, you know, in, like, a bunch of fish, you know, gathered together, and sometimes a lot of them, like, will die, but, like, ultimately they come together to form a resistance against, you know, against the mighty foe for the protection of all. That's obviously an allusion to, like, the Vision Degree and, like, the Resistance Army just forming in general. It's really interesting that we see, yeah, we begin this shot with her eyes murky, and it's the exact same, it's almost like frame for frame the same thing, except, like, at the end it's a bit lighter. Okay. So I think, I don't know if, like, Mihoyo's doing this on purpose, or, like, this is just for some other deal, but it's, like, it's right here. Right here. So, Mihoyo loves doing this, and they did a lot in the Raiden Shogun, like, character demo. And I don't know if, like, this is just because this just looks beautiful, or they're, like, trying to tell us something. But look at this thing. They did this, the classic, look, Kokomi's on the top here, and there's a reflection of her at the bottom. And every time we see, like, a kind of a mirror image, that always, like, alludes to the fact that, oh, maybe, you know, the character isn't exactly what we see. Maybe, like, there's more to the character in terms of, like, maybe there's another person, maybe there's another personality. So and I'm calling it here right now, right, before the story comes out. I'm calling it right here. But I have a feeling that Kokomi is, like, you know, she obviously acts really cheerful and stuff like that on the surface, but, like, and even, like, in hard times, she has, like, serious face, but, like, I feel like deep down, you know, not deep down, but, like, I think underneath the surface of her, like, facade, I think she's, like, a really... She's a very different person. I don't know if, like, this is, like, maybe she's, like, really, like crazy, or maybe crazy evil and stuff like that, but I feel like she's gonna be, like, a really different person once we get to know her more, because we don't really know a lot about Kokomi when you think about it, you know? She just kind of, like, takes us by the hand, and she says, I'm gonna lead this resistance army, and we're gonna fight the Raiden Shogun, because we don't like the Vision Hunt Decree. And that's cool and all, but, like, what's in it for you, really, you know? You were appointed the Divine Priestess of Watatsumi Island, and maybe, yeah, sure, you feel like you're obligated by duty to resist against it. But, like, is that really what Kokomi thinks? Is that really what she believes? Or is she duty-bound and she doesn't actually fully believe in what she's doing? I don't know. I feel like these questions are maybe unnecessary. Maybe we'll get, like, answers to them immediately when the story comes out. But I'm really curious to see how that goes. Because I feel like we know a lot of Kokomi on the surface, but I feel like just like how the ocean appears different on the surface, when you really get underneath it, it's very different. Just how, like, you know, it's, yeah. I feel like it's synonymous to, like, Child, in fact, because, like, Child was, like, really friendly to us, but we knew, like, he was probably going to backstab us. And then he did. True story. but he was like kind of a different person than how we met him initially. He appeared as an ally and then ended up being an enemy, and maybe Kokomi's the same. Who knows? I doubt Kokomi's gonna like full backstab us because I feel like if she was gonna do that, she would have done it like, during part 2 of the Inazuma story. But I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be a really different person once we see her in the story, or like we'll get an allusion to it. Okay, this part is really interesting, and this got my eye almost immediately, because every time we see falling stars in Genshin, it's almost synonymous with the Traveler, because, like, it's that whole thing was, like, we're a falling star, and we, like, fell to Tavat and stuff like that kind of whole deal. But there's a really interesting shot here, and I'm not sure if I can capture it right. Okay, look, we have this. We have actually 2 shining stars, right? There's a shining star in the background. It's kind of, like, shining a bit golden, yellow. I don't know, I'm a little colorblind. It could be one of those things. And then we have this, like, obviously shooting star. Yae Miko, either in the character trailer or in the story, or both, she tells us that, like, this kind of, like, thing where, like, I think someone prophesized the fact that maybe the Traveler was going to come to the Inazuma, like a person, like a stranger, a traveler from a distant land will, like, come to Inazuma and, like, bring change or something like that. And obviously the assumption is that Yae Miko is the one that prophesized that. But what if it wasn't her? What if it was Kokomi and she just told Yae Miko in passing? Or something like that. Because obviously, like, I feel like they know each other at the very least. And, they've probably talked, and maybe Kokomi's like, hey, I had this crazy vision, because I'm a divine priestess and stuff, and I had this crazy vision. Some guy or some person is gonna come to Inazuma soon. He's gonna bring great change. It's gonna be awesome, or it's gonna be bad, but it's gonna happen. Maybe Kokomi's the one. Maybe she has prophetic powers. Yeah, so I think that's pretty interesting. Not a lot other caught my eye in terms of like interesting story notes. Obviously, like this character demo out of all the ones from Inazuma look really beautiful. Like Raiden's was cool. Raiden's was cool. Kazuha's was cool. But like there's something different. Like it's just so beautiful and smooth. Like I was captivated. I was captivated by this. It's a real shame I don't have any Primogems to roll for. But who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. And maybe you guys will get lucky too. But that's all I really have to say about the Kokomi character demo. So yeah, if you have any thoughts that agree or disagree, maybe you saw something in the video that I did not mention and you want to point it out to me, because you guys want to just point it out to me. But it's actually really helpful. I've learned a lot of things from the comments. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to do that, feel free to. And sorry I'm being weird about it, because I'm not super used to doing reaction videos yet, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So, with that, have a good night, have a good morning, have a good evening, whenever you are, wherever you are. Regardless, though, have a good one. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.